Much love. All right, B. Cox, they called us, man. We got to fly to hit to Chicago, brother. Now, and before we land, there was a guy that said, truthfully, I like to rhyme like common sense. But fuck it, I did 5 million. I ain't been rhyming like common sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I have to start with him first, man, because Common was the first rapper. I mean, you know, of course, him and Twista and all of them, but Common, Twista has his lane as well. But Common was the one, man, that really brought lyricism and he really, you know, took pride in the word play. He wasn't trying to be New York, even though, you be goddamn lying to say the lyrical, you know, excellence out of New York didn't influence us. Hell, influenced everybody. He's gonna keep it a bean.
Yeah.
But you knew he was a Chicago brother. And that's the thing that I appreciated. So because let's talk about him, but he tends to be the unsung hero when it comes to great lyricists, as well as, man, a statesman for Chicago, man.
Oh, yeah. It's one of my favorites, man. One of my favorites
of
all the time. And let me just say this about Common. Common has been doing it for now it's 32 years now. We're talking about the release of Can I Borrow a Dollar, which was his debut album, by the way. But I've been rocking with Common from Resurrection all the way up through now.
Wow.
And his music is it's really interesting, man. The way that he is, when you see the personality and see his style through his albums, and how his style sort of adapts but never really changes all that much, right? From the Resurrections to One Day It'll All Make Sense to like Water for Chocolate, even Electric Circus, into B to Finding Forever. Common is just one of those artists that has, to me, always been consistent, even when he tried to, you know, artistically try some things here and there on a few albums. He's been one of those artists that has been consistent and also adapted without really ever changing much about him. And he's always lyrically been proficient and then always had the best of the best producing for him, right? And they all gave him styles that fit him. And to his core, as you said, he was 100% authentically, without a shadow of a doubt, shot down till he died.
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
And that identity was something that was great for him and great for the city as well.
Indeed, it was.
Because he always represented Chicago. He let people know without a shadow of a doubt that's where he was from. That's what he represents. And with me, man, personally, Common has always come around during a time whenever he dropped an album during an important time of my life. Resurrection drops.
Wow.
Resurrection drops. I'm starting middle school.
Wow.
One Day It All Makes Sense drops during the year when I'm becoming a sophomore in high school, and my sister graduated from high school the year before. So I'm in high school alone by myself. I have to start to create my own identity because a lot of folks knew me, but knew me through my sister. I was in high school by myself, and it was time for me to really make a name for myself, you know, who I was going to be.
Yes, sir.
Water for Chocolate drops during my senior year. One of my favorite albums, not just by Common, but my favorite albums of all time of any genre.
Really? Come on.
Yeah, man. And then B. Well, Electric Circus dropped when I was in college. I mean, I skipped over that one because I wasn't really feeling it that much of the time, right?
I didn't feel that one either at the time. Because
B drops right when I'm getting ready to graduate from college. And that single for the corner drops right during that time. Start my last semester in school. And it did my heart so glad when first the beat starts and then I'm watching the video and then you see Kanye and I'm like, oh man, this is what needed to happen.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah,
like, this is the natural progression of what needed to happen with Common.
Yeah,
Common, who basically started and had his greatest moments being produced by No ID.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Chicago, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
To have it go from teacher
to
student to complete the entire circle from Resurrection into B was perfect. And if after Electric Circus, which many people saw as a disappointment from Common, to have him really go back, to me, B was sort of the way of Common saying, like, all right, I took my trip to New York to go make like Water for Chocolate. I've set out and done the alternative bohemian sort of the experimental thing on Electric Circus. B was him being like, all right, I'm getting back on the train, going back on the plane and going back to Chicago. Yeah. And me and Kanye gonna do some work for Chicago. Yeah. Like that's what it's gonna be, Yeah. And so that made my heart glad. But Common to me is someone that when we talk about all aspects of hip hop, and most of them, he's got it. I mean, elite MC, and I'll say that again. If you ever hear Common freestyle, and he be freestyling for real, he don't be doing them. I wrote something down, I'm gonna memorize it, and I'm gonna spit it when I go up the Funk Flex or LA Leakers or whoever else. If you hear Common freestyle and watch him, he's freestyling off the top of the head. Come on, off man. The top of the dome. It's a real MC. He does it without messing up, and he does it without a whole bunch of he continuously goes, right? Yes, sir. Elite MC. Okay. In his early days, crazy breakdancer. Matter of fact, he tells people that's how we got started in the hip hop, is that he started out breakdancing when he was in Chicago. That's crazy. Crazy breakdancer. And you also see the collaborations that he's done throughout the years, the profile that has risen from the stuff that he's done with other good artists like John Legend, and seeing his collaborations with folks like Mos Def and Talib Kweli. I mean, everything. He has been a great ambassador for Chicago's hip hop and also for hip hop overall, man. Indeed. He is someone that we talk about. Someone you say it's crazy, like you sit there talk about Common as an unsung hero. It's crazy for me to even sit there and think about that, man, because we're not having a conversation too far along in hip hop if we're not mentioning at least people saying something about Resurrection, One Day It'll All Make Sense, and like Water for Chocolate at a minimum during that period of the 90s. Yes, sir. We're not having a conversation that far along before you get into at least one of those. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, Common, one of my favorites, man. Listening to those early albums, hearing his Pops wrap up, at least the first 4 albums, and hearing those beats, man, those no ID beats from Resurrection and into One Day It'll All Make Sense, and then to flip to that and go have production from Badilla and Questlove and the likes of DJ Premier on like Water for Chocolate, then to have production from Pharrell and other producers on Electric Circus, and to Kanye on B. I mean, there's not many people you can say. Now, let's now also remember this project with him and Pete Rock. It's coming out. Boy Wonder. Yes, I'm just excited to see what that's going to bring, man. Here we are now, 32 years after his debut, and Common is still rapping and still doing it at an elite level, man. We talked about Nas. Like, Nas has been doing it for all these years, man. Common has been doing it with less fanfare, but is doing it at an elite level as well. Man, well said. Because just to cap that one off, man, one of my proudest moments in Chicago of Common was when him, and no disrespect, look, and we're going to get to the West eventually too. And we're going to talk about this guy. But when he stood up against Q, and the bitch in you, and the Chocolate Boy Wonder said, well, fuck it, I'll produce the beat. Won't nobody else produce it? I'll give you the beat. And man, when Common stood his own, and that Chicago warrior mentality that we all are inbred with in the city, like, hey man, you ain't about to bitch me now, dog. And how he stood his ground, and then just to see the evolution, he tried different things. He had a little Badu in his life, but Erykah Badu, she fuck up all the niggas' heads. That's one woman that I don't even want to look at. If ever Erykah Badu ever come near me, I'm turning my fucking head. I said it. I'm not messing with that magic. But anyway, because magic. Hey man, Black Thought and Questlove told Common when he was coming to work on like Water for Chocolate, they're recording Voodoo and Mama's Gun all in the same sessions in Electric Lady Studios. When they told Common about interacting with Erykah, they say, hey man, whatever you do, just don't look in her eyes, man. She got them green eyes and shit. Just don't look in her eyes and shit, dog. And what this nigga gonna do? Look at her goddamn eyes. Motherfuckers told his ass not to touch the stove, and his dumb ass went up and touched the stove anyway.
Goddamn stove, goddamn. And she got a graveyard of niggas that looked at them fucking eyes. B Cox, Andre 3 Stacks, DLC,
J
Electronica. Hey,
yeah.
The great Erykah Badu, baby. I can't handle your magic. But lastly, B Cox, when he finished up with B, he brought that back to Chicago, man. Now I was there at that time. I had moved back home for about 2 years. I was selling my clothes, and I said, "Oh, this nigga, him and Kanye, they eating Harold's chicken, and they back hanging out in the goddamn corner. We about to get some goddamn good music." And it sounded like a Chicago authentic album. So, man, I appreciate you, B Cox, for appreciating one of Chicago's finest, man. All right, well,